garage.
This is the meeting of the Fountain Lakes Planning Board, July 16, 2024. Following is the agenda for the regular meeting held at 25 Lenox Avenue, July 16, 7:30 p.m. Formal written advance notice is required by NJSA 10:4-1 and sec. Has been provided of this meeting at least 48 hours in advance of today, giving the time, date, and location, and to the extent known at the time of the agenda of this meeting. Such notice stated that formal action may or may not be taken. The meeting will be video recorded and will be broadcast for later viewing for the public. The notice was posted on the bulletin board outside of the offices of the municipal clerk, reserved for this and other similar announcements. Provided to the Suburban Trends, the newspaper designated by the council and planning board to receive such notices, and filed with the borough clerk. Please stand for pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a roll call, please, Carl?
Mr. Simone,
Here.
Mr. Fracaro,
Here.
Mr. Trost,
Here.
Mr. Otto,
Here.
Dr. Pendexter,
Here.
Mr. Keating,
Here.
Mayor Sarah.
Here.
Councilman Deline is absent. Mr. Volpe.
Here. Thank you all for coming. First thing tonight is the minutes from the regular meeting of June 18, 2024. That was the meeting when we had the hearing for the new county/veterans facility on Ringwood Avenue. Have you all had a chance to review the minutes? And if so, what is your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, second?
A second.
Second, Mr. Pendexter. Any comments, questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, tonight, there is no correspondence, there are no new applications. We have one conceptual plan for 7 Ivy Street, Pompton Lakes. It's for a private office, nonprofit, and we have a copy of a letter from the applicant, or potential applicant, for conceptual request that was reviewed by the building official. And I think you've all got that, a copy of that in front of you? So, let's see. Mark,
Yes, sir.
who first, last name?
Piercy,
Piercy. P-E-R?
P-I-E-R-C-Y.
P-I? Okay. Ms. Piercy, why don't you come up, sit down, and we'll chat.
Thank you, sir.
The purpose of a conceptual hearing is just to talk about something that you might want to do. It has no obligation on you, no obligation on us, doesn't require anything in the way of information other than what you've given us. So it's really just an opportunity for you to kind of tell us what you think you'd like to do with your proposal. And then we don't give you any decisions, we just give you comments. And then if you decide to go forward with it, then you put in a formal application. Carl will help you with that. And then that would come before the board as an actual application. And at that point, you would need a little bit more information, and you would have to deal with the building official, you know, it's going to coordinate everything.
Yes.
So that's kind of the process. It's real simple tonight, though. We just get to chat.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about what you want to do and who you are, and we'll go from there.
We're a non-profit, private organization consisting of primarily law enforcement. For every member that we have, we can only have one non-police officer for every officer that we have. We have monthly meetings, second Fridays, where we discuss fundraising for giving back to the community, and that sort of thing. We just held a benefit at the Oakland Elks, and we raised $2,000 for a family that was dealing with cancer and needed assistance. So that's basically what we do. We were planning on, there are plans that are made, but the part that I quite wasn't understanding, and maybe you can explain it to me a little bit more, is that Mr. Poley was saying that it had to be open to the public. Now, I don't quite understand why it needs to be open to the public in that zone. It's DBD2. To our left, it's, if you're not familiar with 7 Ivy Street, you're facing the new Passaic County Sheriff,
Veterans Assistant. It's actually be part of the,
Road.
it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be DBW, and it's gonna have a salt shed, and then there's recycling there, and then a little further down is the veterans area.
right, so that's what we're facing.
Mhm.
We have a sprinkler guy to our left.
Right.
We have John Stackhouse to his left, and then just 3 other garages with storage. And none of them are open to the public, so that's why I'm a little bit confused of why Mr. Poley was saying that it has to be open to the public. So when he did tell me that, I did have self-made drawings, not knowing that with a commercial property, I needed architectural plans. So he did call me in, he sat me down. I've been in law enforcement, I just retired, it's July 1st, for 26 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it doesn't quite feel real yet.
You'll get used to it.
I'm trying. But I got the honey-do list, you know, at home. So, I said to Mr. Poley that we're trying to cooperate with whatever you want. He told me that it had to be open to the public. So with it not being private, obviously I had to adhere to ADA rules. I had plans made up by an architect that he recommended, made it ADA accessible, and are still just waiting on the approval.
Is there like a charter for your group, and is there like an official name?
The Untouchables.
It's okay, so that's actually what's on your charter or your business?
Yes.
I'm just curious what he needs to have for his,
We're
For getting this.
we're
Well, no,
501(c)(3).
I think that the first question on being open to the public is, in every zone, and DBD's no different, I don't have it in front of me, there are lists of uses that you can do. You can't
Okay.
have a dynamite manufacturing facility in a residential zone. So they list,
Right.
And in commercial areas, oftentimes there's a distinction between things that are open to the public or private clubs and organizations, like the Elks. You know, I can't just go into the Elks, gotta be a member or know somebody.
Right.
And that's in a certain area. And I believe, I don't have it in front of me, that private clubs and organizations might not be available in the area of the zone where you're talking about. That Carm may have a list of uses, I'm not sure. But that's probably what Sal was saying. He doesn't
Like,
like,
if we're there, people are more than welcome to come. We welcome people to come, because it helps us with the fundraising.
okay, I'm not going to get into the details,
Okay.
but essentially it has to be, anybody can walk in, anybody has the exact same rights. That's a private club or a private civic organization or brotherhood. There's a lot of different things, Knights of Columbus and things, there's lots of them.
Right.
They are generally allowed in certain places. And again, I don't have it, but, although I do have it, I'll review it after the talk. That's probably what he's saying. Open to the public
appreciate it.
means, open to the public. Every single person has equal rights to that as anybody else. That's generally what it is. And there are other places where you can have you can have private club type organizations. That might not be it. That's, my guess is that's what Sal's talking about.
Okay, thank you.
Can I add something, we happen to be going through this now. So one of the issues, and it's not against your club in any shape or form about it, it's just that if we put a social club in a business area, we lose the aspect of a business retail going in there at some point. So we've had other big places downtown asking to put, I'll call it a social club, closed membership, doors locked, you come in, they let you in. That is, according to what the attorney's saying, against the laws of the town right now to do that. You can't have a closed door club in a retail area. Now, if I say you're open to the public, all that means is the door is open and public can walk in. You just can't have a locked door.
When there's a meeting going on, you mean, when there are people in there, obviously it's not open the entire time.
No, when hours, there'll be hours.
Sure.
If you listed hours, then you'd have to be open. So in other words, another thing we don't want is Wi-Fi businesses selling, needing a storefront to do work, but everything's done online, and they don't let customers in, so they're just moving stuff in and out through the store.
Right.
We're trying to stop that, because
Okay.
that's the big business right now. And I can tell you, we have a cake store that's just opening up, and that was one of her concerns. She does most of her business online. But we told her she has to open the door a certain amount of hours a week to customers. Maybe nobody comes in, maybe 20 people come in.
And is there a minimum amount of hours that those businesses have to be open?
That I can't answer, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, because it would be, like I said, it's every second Friday. Some guys might hang out there some Friday nights, but it wouldn't be like a listed time frame other than the second Friday of every month.
Right, but like the attorney mentioned.
Right, and I understand
Like
what
someone
he's
else
saying.
has certain hours that
Right.
they have meetings on.
Yes,
That could happen outside of a business downtown area. That's why these places like a Knights or Elks are outside of the downtown area.
right.
So you would have to work that out with Sal and his board on, you'll have open hours that people can come in. I don't know what you're selling or doing or what it is, I don't know.
We don't really sell anything other than, have events where we give away items, where they pay, let's just say $20 at the door, and we have food. Now, this is going back to the Elks. I'm not saying our big parties will be on Ivy Street. But if we have a big gathering, I actually called Ronnie from Pompton Lakes Elks to see if he would let us use his facility. So we have an event August 3rd in Oakland that we're holding.
So when you say an event, and that's where I'm a little confused, is it like an invitation or how do you?
We usually put flyers out. We are a motorcycle club, and the other clubs come to support us, and it's a $20 fee for refreshments, and this time we happen to get pulled pork. So we go to different food vendors and we have bands, but that's for bigger venues.
Where would everybody park that were coming to your place now? If you were to this?
In the driveway as much as we could, and along the side of the building.
That's something you guys might want to talk about.
How many people do you think you get on a typical event night?
Well, we have 20 members, and we're lucky to get 15 to show up. So I would probably say 30 to 40 tops,
And people would come there by motorcycle mostly, or?
mostly motorcycle.
So I think a threshold thing is, I know you give the facts of how people can come in and out, but a membership club that's exclusive to the members of things it's not permitted. It's a prohibited use, you can't do it. Those things can change, if you can convince the governing body to change it. But there are two boards. This board's the planning board, and there's another, the zoning board. In order to get a use variance, in order to get permission to do something that is prohibited, the use, this board couldn't even. It would have to be the Board of Adjustment, if at all.
Okay.
But I think the first question is, whether or not it would be open to the public, and whether or not it would be classified as a club or a fraternal organization or something like that. That's something, you could work on with Sal, but if it's going to be something that's prohibited, this board can talk about it, but the first thing you'd have to do is either get the governing body to change it. So in fact, it's a permitted use. They would have to change the ordinance. I don't know if they want to or not. Because like the mayor said, some places they want to have those types of clubs in certain places. I don't know if that would happen.
Right.
That would be one solution. We're going to the Board of Adjustment, which is allowed to grant those in very limited circumstances to allow you to do something that the governing body says you shouldn't do. But as it stands right now, it sounds like this board can give you, if you get it changed, what do they think about it? Absolutely. I'm not trying to limit that, but I'm just saying that that's really your options right now.
So that's basically what your meeting on the second Friday of every month is a club meeting or
Yes.
a discussion on what's happening?
No, it's a club meeting, and also to plan events to raise money for the community, officers, families that are in needs. We've done other people within the community that, you know, helped us, so something happened with them, and we would donate to them.
And there's some kind of dues, I assume, or?
Yes. So since the issue is that we've been paying 2 months, and it's my fault on my own that we started some of the work. And Sal told me about a month ago, no more work. And I said, okay, no problem, can I paint and spackle? So really, it's just been paint and sweat and spackle. So it hasn't been touched since then, but we're paying rent and not being able to use this site.
Right.
So if we're not allowed to use the site, I'd rather you guys be able to tell me that,
Barking up the wrong tree.
yes, I was gonna say it in a different way, and thank you for helping me out. Because then, if you deny it, we can then go to our landlord and say, look, it's not a permitted use within this zone. So unfortunately, we have to, you know, come to some agreement and see if we can get out of the lease that we signed.
Well, that's something Sal, you can describe the use, and Sal can say that is a prohibited use, he can't issue, he cannot issue a CO to you because it's a prohibited use. Private club is just not prohibited. That's something definitely Sal can do.
It's not what I'm hoping, because,
I understand that. I
you
don't
know,
want that either.
there's been a lot of time put into the place. And I wasn't quite looking for that answer, but the feedback that I am getting is that it's just not in the right spot.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's probably the third, that's probably definitely something that you've heard tonight. The easiest one is this board can't give you the relief you can.
I know, and I understand that, and I appreciate you telling me that, but again, do I even try to go in front of the zoning board based on your own opinion?
So maybe I could give you a little guidance in where we're going with the vision of the town, and that might help you make your decision. So as you see, we're doing a lot of redevelopment.
Yes.
All our redevelopment projects that are done, have residential on top and have a retail component on the bottom.
Correct.
Okay, so we're not building anything that's just apartments to the ground and no retail. So retail is very vital to what we're building here in town. So I would say that anything that's moving forward that's going to be a club, I understand it's a good cause club. I mean, what you're telling me makes complete sense. You do good things, and those are all great things to have. I don't know if that really belongs in a downtown setting.
Okay.
It might belong somewhere else, you know,
And again, no disrespect, it was a garage.
No, I get it.
And it was facing a salt shed and a road department property. And I can't believe the monstrosities you guys are putting up over in the center of town. And, you know, and I see the development going, and I see the direction that you're going. But just in my own opinion, and like I said, no disrespect, we're facing a salt shed.
But you're, like the attorney said, you're in the zone already. Even though you're facing that salt shed,
Right.
you're in the zone.
Right. No, I know, and zones can't be fixed.
That they can, but,
They can, yeah.
but it would take either the zoning board or the council to do something. We don't here.
It's not our authority. Andy, the zoning board can grant the variance, though, no?
The zoning board can already use variance, but if it's in the redevelopment area in order to get site plan, they have to come to the planning board, the planning board can't. So there may be, if it's in a redevelopment area, I'd have to see that redevelopment plan, which is the zoning board. I know at least one of them restricts the ability of in order to get site plan, you can only go to the planning board. They don't want use variances. So I would have to look at it. I'm leaning toward the zoning, now that if it's in the redevelopment area, that I would want to read that whole plan to see that whether or not the zoning board is allowed to grant site plan approval in that area.
Is the space that you're talking about going to occupy the entire building, or is this simply a portion of it?
It's just one bay garage.
Just one.
One bay of, is it 4 that's there, or 3?
No, there's actually 6.
6.
So the one way on the end has all classic cars and whatnot and lifts and whatever. The next guy's got classic cars, then it would be us. And then the next two is the sprinkler and John Stackhouse.
Yeah. I think it's a portion of the building.
So, I would suggest, it depends how far you want to take it. Maybe talk to Sal, maybe he could talk to the zoning and, if he can get it, and I don't know the legality of it, and, you might have to hash that out and dig a little deeper, and then maybe you can come back to us if you can get that settled with zoning and everything. But right now, it's out of our hands, we have no authority.
Seems to be like Andy, it sounds like Andy has to, I don't want to say render an opinion, but come up with an opinion on, is it zoning or planning?
Right now, it's absolutely not planning.
Zoning.
Yeah, right now, it could not be planning.
But you just said if it's in a redevelopment zone, it could be planning.
No, what I said is, they were sometimes, and I don't read this plan, the redevelopment plan, which is the zoning for the redevelopment
Yeah.
area, essentially says you cannot get a D variance, you cannot get a use variance, you can only get C variances, which this board can grant. And they do that by saying, you have to go to the planning board for site plan approval, which is to say, you have to go to a board which cannot give you use variance relief. Before I say that's absolutely the case, I want to read the whole thing on this area to see if that's actually in this plan or not. I know that was discussed at times, but I don't want to be giving an opinion without having read that thoroughly. That may, and I'll make it even more complicated. In situations something like that, you could bifurcate it, so you'd have to go to one board, get a use variance, get that, then take that back to this board, and then have the site plan because you split it two. And I don't know if that's the case, I'm not saying it is. I'll talk with Sal tomorrow and the next day and kind of figure out what is possible. And I'm not saying that it is likely that a zoning board would give you a variance, because as the mayor said, there's a reason why the governing body has designed it the way they have.
And I understand that. I appreciate you being upfront with me. But basically, the opinion and everything that I'm hearing is cut my losses and move on.
You have a tough road to hoe.
Yes, which Sal basically said, you can go for a variance, but you're not going to get approved. That was one of our discussions months ago.
With all due respect, that's also not his decision. It's the board's decision.
Okay,
And you've got money invested. You paid a planner, you paid an architect. I hate to see you throw in a towel and just walk away. That's not.
But let's just say now, the next zoning board meeting is next month. That's another month of rent. If then I have to come back to you to get whatever you had to go over, and I didn't 100% understand it, but I appreciate you trying to explain it to me, then, and I don't even want to say this to you guys, then just deny us. Because then I don't want to get denied, but I don't want to keep on going and losing money to a point where we could have ended it either tonight or tomorrow when Sal comes in.
We can't deny it. There's nothing to approve or deny here.
Okay.
So that's one step.
And I don't know the complete process.
It's a process. So you're talking, if you go to a zoning board, go through all the meetings and maybe the planning board, you're talking months, you're not talking 1 month.
There's a meeting next week of the zoning board. They on for next week? So you could theoretically take the same conceptual issue to the zoning board with no obligation and get input. I mean, I don't know if you'd have.
Yeah,
And maybe get a better idea
Wouldn't be enough time.
of whether this convoluted path may actually work. Because, it's not going to be a straight yes or no tonight, absolutely. But
And I wasn't asking. for that.
No, but I'm just saying, you'll be able to then evaluate the risk. Is it worth going another 2 or 3 months, carrying the rent, doing whatever work that you can or cannot do, still with the possibility of it not going through? Or do you just say, you know what, it's just not quite the right place? I mean, it's just
Thank you, I
what the club's
appreciate it.
willing to risk, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you're already into July. You obviously paid the rent.
Okay, July 1st.
So you're paid up until August 1st, so the meeting is next week.
Next Tuesday.
if you can get onto the agenda for next Tuesday for the same type of thing, you can get a feel whether the zoning board will grant you what you need. And then, you know, if it's gonna be a 2-month process, you may have some recourse with your landlord to say, hey, it's gonna take me 2 months to find out if we can do this. Can we do something with the rent? Can you work it out? Or just tell them, if you're not willing to work with us, then we're gonna walk away now.
I think what you could take definitely from this meeting is, and Mike, you could say it best, is this board, according to our attorney, cannot help at this moment. So this board can't say yes,
You know,
no.
and I appreciate everybody, you know, giving me their opinions, because, you know, we're trying to do something good, but I also understand that, you know, you guys have your plan for Pomptomites and, you know, revitalizing or expanding. So what time is it on Tuesday?
Next Tuesday, it's at 8 PM, the meeting starts for Board of Adjustment.
And you would just reissue, you know.
What I used to do is just,
That's
yeah,
the lady
take
to talk to
this.
again.
Yeah, me.
You're gonna be in North Carolina, aren't you?
Excuse me?
So, but you're gonna be in North Carolina, aren't you?
I get home Monday.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah, we leave tomorrow, right around 6 AM. We ride straight through. Like I said, the ladies are down, we're down in the valley, ladies are up in Gatlinburg. And then we'll leave Sunday, we'll meet up somewhere, and then, we stay the night in West Virginia and then home.
Can I ask you a question? Sure. This is new for all of us, I think. And I guess you might have some familiarity with these kind of groups. Where do they find them? Like, where are they? Like, how would you find another group like this? Police minded.
You mean like
Motorcycle group.
motorcycle clubs? Fourth Watch is, first aid and some police officers. They have a clubhouse in, Hackensack.
What's it, do you know where it is, or
It's
House.
right by the court, it's right by the courthouse.
garage, house, or?
It's garage. Non-nights are all, you know, vets. They have, I'll call it a shack over by, the old Brendan Byrne Arena. If you guys are familiar with that. Off a side street back there.
Because it's a difficult thing to do, right? Not just for you, but
It
all
is.
groups, it's a
It
difficult
is.
place to find.
Because, and a lot, you look at a motorcycle guy with a vest on and all of a sudden you think Sons of Anarchy. And, you know, what they do. And that's not what we do. We do the complete
It's
opposite.
the opposite.
Where, you know, we're helping everybody. Hired Guns actually has troopers in it. I don't know where their clubhouse is. But, you know, there are clubhouses and
Where are you guys meeting now?
our houses.
Okay.
We've actually, oh, and also the Fort Lee Fire Department, because we have, one of the members is a Fort Lee fireman, so he has access to the firehouse. Other times, instead of having the meeting Friday night, we'll say Saturday, we'll go for a ride, we'll come back to my house for a barbecue. And then, you know, we'll barbecue and everybody will be at the house and, you know, we all just drink and, you know,
Yes.
have a good time with BS. You know, and it's just, it's tough. You know, I put a lot of work into it because I'm the closest. I live in Ringwood, I worked in Oakland, so it was at a convenience for me. Right here was, you know, a no-brainer. You know, we have guys that come all the way down past Trenton to come up to meetings every month. You know, we're all over the place, and, you know, we have numerous chapters. One is North Carolina, where we're going, California, Indiana, Illinois, Florida, Colorado, Texas.
What
So-
places that got space to put little shacks, air
Yeah, how about right for the salt shed?
Right, you know, in the back, you're good to go.
We'll put, you know,
You know, I just look at, I know the garage, I know the area, it's never gonna be anything but a garage.
Yeah.
It's not redevelopment, it's not, nobody's tearing that down and building a Starbucks on the bottom with 2 stories of apartments. It's gonna be what it is now, from now until the day it falls down. At least I believe that to be. So, you know, I think it's a great cause, I think it's a good organization. And I'd hate to see you just give up, but I understand at some point in time, you gotta cut your losses.
Well, I
Zoning
mean,
board seems like a way to
if I
go.
can get on for that Tuesday night, I know my wife has a deposition at 2 o'clock, and I don't assume that the attorneys are gonna be deposing
They won't go
until
till-
after 8 o'clock. I was actually supposed to go to a firearm hearing at 1:30, and I contacted the court to cancel, because I took care of all the firearm approvals at our headquarters. So,
I think just by listening and maybe Andy does a little more checking, get on the zoning board. That's only a week away, which is good. And I think, you know, Tim's suggestion, I was even thinking about the same thing, is, you know, you've got a situation where the landlord didn't tell you you could or couldn't do what you were gonna do, and you certainly
and
didn't.
of course, the realtor said, you're good to go.
Of course, so what I'm saying is you basically will have the ability to get something from the town, which is actually saying you can't do what you want to do
Right.
unless you go through this or that. And then maybe that does buy you some reduced rate or postponed rate, so that you can get the time to figure out to do it the right way, and everybody's happy. Maybe that's the best way to try it.
Well, like you said, we paid July. So it doesn't hurt that if I get on to this 23rd, correct?
Yep.
Because I'm picking up a puppy on the 24th.
Still be sorry.
It's a busy week. Then I would just take my chances. I mean,
It may give you a better idea where you want to be.
correct.
Again. you're-
And Andy is their
you're not giving
attorney
an answer.
too.
No, and I understand, and I appreciate everybody giving me the input. And, you know, it's worth a shot.
Andy is their attorney as well,
Yep,
so.
you'll see me again.
He'll be able to.
It'd be my pleasure.
And I'll
That's
know-
just reading.
I'll know what procedure you would have to do in order to get what you want. Not gonna say that's gonna be any easier, but I'll have a better idea what it is you need. Either the governing body to change the rules by changing the zoning, or use variance or what, I'll have a better idea.
Okay, and will you be there?
I'm not on that board, but I can attend the meeting if you want me to.
Well, because the best thing I've heard tonight is that you know that it's a garage, it's gonna be a garage until it falls down and crumbles, unless the building owners decide, okay, we've had enough, get out.
Yeah, I certainly can't testify. on your
And
behalf.
I'm not asking you to, but the best thing I heard tonight was what you said, the garages. And, you know, it's off the beaten path. It is,
There's no real neighbors that piss off there.
no,
Well, you do neighbors.
Yeah, it'll be all the way across the street.
you know, and I introduced myself to everybody that was there, you know, because we want to get along, we're all neighbors, you know, and do the neighborly thing and introduce yourself. Dwight, the old guy that's there, I don't know if anybody knows him, but he would do anything for you and help you in any way he can, because I've gone to him a bunch of times. Hey, Dwight, you have a Sawzall? Oh, yeah, sure, come on. So, you know Dwight?
We're a friendly town,
Yes.
so we'll try to work it out for you, but I think the next step, you've got a roadmap of what to do, and just we wish you good luck with it.
Okay. Thank you, sir, and I thank you all for your time tonight.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. And a safe trip to North Carolina.
Yeah, be careful. A lot of nuts out there.
Well, last time 2 years ago, when I got there, I went into AFib. I spent the night in hospital in Nashville.
So I'll
Let's not
call
do
you
that again.
tomorrow, let you know the time, and then I'll put you on the agenda, and then,
I don't need to fill anything out?
no, I'm just gonna take this and
Okay.
send it over to
Because we're
them.
leaving at like 5 or 6 in the
Yep,
morning.
you got it.
Okay, thank you
Yep.
very much.
Good night.
Thank you guys for your time. I
Good night,
appreciate
good
it.
luck.
All right.
Have a nice
See you
night.
next
Good luck with
Tuesday.
all the redevelopment.
Another idea you might want. Talk to
See you next Tuesday.
Thank you, Carmelina.
You're welcome. You too.
Okay, what's left tonight is Resolution PB 24-04, Passaic County Affordable Housing Commission. We have a resolution to consider for approval. Anything that you need to talk about, Andy?
No, I think we have all the conditions that you put in there, and mostly, compliance with everything that the engineers wanted, having to, changing the fence from chain link to vinyl, working with Shade Tree to get more trees, getting an approval, so all the conditions.
Working with the utilities to get everything straightened out.
Yep, new utility sheet, yes.
Working with John Keating.
Yes, approval from Mr. Keating.
Well, there you go. Talk about convoluted paths. Okay, so with that said, do we have a motion to approve Resolution PB 24-04?
So moved.
So moved, second.
Second.
Second,
Who was
Mr.
second?
Vaccaro, Mr. Trost. And we just had discussion, so I'll call for roll call vote, please.
Okay, Mr. Simone?
Yes.
Mr. Vaccaro?
Yes.
Mr. Trost?
Yes.
Mr. Otto?
Yes.
Dr. Pendexter?
Yes.
Mr. Keating?
Yes.
And Mr. Bowlby?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I think you should be able to move forward on that now and get that project going.
This project.
I was very happy with the way they actually made the application and accommodated our concerns, so good for that. All right, public discussion, there is no public, so I'm not gonna open it up to the public. And with that, is there anything that any member of the board wants to bring up before we?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Keating.
since we had somebody come up with a conceptual idea or request, somebody else came to our board with a conceptual idea of having a social club
Yes.
right on Wanacue Ave.
Yeah.
And what I understand, it was denied. He tried to go through the building department, it got denied.
It never got to an application perspective. It was
Correct.
conceptual only, and then it went there.
Correct,
So they never approved it?
correct.
Okay. And
So what I understand through word of mouth and through town is that there is a social club there.
They're there.
They're there.
I can address, we're investigating it right now.
Yes.
Okay.
It's an enforcement issue.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
definitely an enforcement.
And that's what I was going to recommend to the building
And
department.
that's what I was actually just telling you. To be honest, look, we're going through this right now, there's an actual social club that said they were gonna open the doors, it was 10 hours, and it's locked, and it's not allowed in. I don't think they're gonna be around much longer, it's the rumor I'm hearing. But that's a perfect situation of what he was just talking about.
Right.
It was a closed club, even though they said it was gonna be an open club.
Yeah.
so the answer, yes, it's gonna be dealt with, but everything gets dealt with there. Since we never had an application, we have no say. Conceptuals, don't bind anybody, so, but then again, without the approval of somebody, it's at their risk.
Just wanted
so.
to make sure it was on record.
Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to bring that up, but, okay, anything else from any members of the board?
Yeah, I was just wondering, and I don't know, Mike, you might be able to chime in on this more so than anyone else here. And I may be speaking completely out of turn, I don't know. When you go down, let's say Madison, the main street down Madison, New Jersey, all the storefronts are very nice, and they're very nice. It's fully occupied, obviously, or mostly occupied. We certainly have some vacant stores in town. I noticed in the pork store, they covered the windows, so it
That's what he's
looks
talking about.
nice. Well, whoever's in there, doesn't matter.
Even if they don't
But
belong there.
even if they don't belong there. But there are other places that look like crap. Is there anything that the town can do to the property owners to, whether the toy store or whatever the guy, he's gone or whatever, something,
Yeah,
so it doesn't look as,
There's things that, so
Crappy.
the thing that we're running into, and we're in discussion about this, we have some corporate stores, okay? Some of the corporate stores, like a Wegmans, for example, they have to hang things from their windows in their windows. But that's a violation of the ordinance in Pompton Lakes. So some of the stores that you see a lot of junk hanging in from the windows, we would go after them. We can't just pick and choose the stores. If we're gonna say we're gonna go after hanging stuff in the window, we gotta go after all the stores hanging stuff.
I'm talking about the vacant stores.
Well, the vacant.
The ones that are just open and you
No,
see all
there's
sorts of junk
requirements
in
for what they
there,
have to do.
it's just, it really looks bad. It's much better if
Cardboard,
just-
it's,
you do something.
paper. There's supposed to
Yeah.
be paper
Okay.
put in the windows.
Okay.
And, I can have Sal go back and take a look if there's
Okay.
any actual empty stores. They should have their windows covered. There's only a couple, believe it or not, a couple of empty stores.
even the one by the daycare, where on the other side of the dry cleaner, isn't that, he was selling toys and
No, that's
that's gone.
it's gone, he's
But
got a store, he's got a Filipino, something. Yeah, the old toy store, and that's another example I used to, too, the toy store was a good example of someone who never opened their doors.
Yeah.
But yes, there are some stores that, that's interesting. And the bid is trying to go hard.
Yeah.
And speaking of stores, where is our clock on CJM? When did it start and when is it up?
I had a meeting.
I keep seeing, nothing.
No, I had, when's the clock stop?
Yeah, when's he start getting fined or
60 days from June, was it 4th, 8th?
I have it written down.
Yeah,
June what?
It's not till like August or September.
Well, August is a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, okay, they don't have to do anything until August.
Well-
We go after them. Can't do anything until, they break the time.
Have you heard anything from
Yeah,
them?
They put their permits in, they're ready to go, they are ready to go. They've got all their approvals, right, the permits?
I don't know, my
I think they have.
I would like us not to wait until the 60th day to say, are you guys gonna do
Well, we'll
anything?
have to wait till the 60th day.
I mean, you can,
You can have the conversation, you
Yeah.
can't say we're finding you yet.
right, I'm not saying to fine them before that, but
Well, it's not,
It's just a reminder.
it's not a fine. There's a contract.
Is that the 223?
What?
223 Montague?
What?
223 Montague? Is that what you?
Yeah. There's a contract that says that they would be in violation for it, and then you have remedies. The remedies are, you can no longer do it, or you could recommend that the governing body cancel their payment of loan tax, their pilot agreement. Finding isn't part of, I don't believe finding.
You're right.
But there's other leverage, absolutely. But, this is it's an economic incentive for them to move. And so you have some leverage, the municipality and the redevelopment agency have some leverage. It's not really finding them, it's just like anybody else. If they don't want to build yet, they don't want to build. There is leverage, there is some leverage, absolutely.
And that leverage was put in just for that reason.
Yep.
Because we didn't want to wait, so
Yeah.
60 days. was put
You're
in
absolutely right.
At the redevelopment agency. So there are requirements that if they don't do that, they will have to follow.
so in a few weeks, that time expires.
I would say.
I'm asking if there's any intention of sitting down with them and trying to find out exactly what their intentions
I
are.
sat down with you, he sat with the plans, he's gone over with them, they're very excited to build them, I'll tell you.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they
And they
said.
have a lot of money into it. They paid a lot of money to buy it, and then those permits went.
They got a lot of money into this project.
Yes, they do.
I can't believe they would not want to build this.
Okay, anything else uptown of note?
No, I met with the Meridian, yesterday. We finalized our sleeping center out back, which will be a nice new building upstairs, not for meetings, but for storage, a new women's locker room, a new bathrooms, new kitchens.
Can it be rented out?
What?
To a motorcycle club?
And he hopes to be finished, he says, by January and start renting in March.
Wow. And when is the Civic Center gonna be worked on?
We're hoping the next couple of weeks. He's got the plans, he's all set to go, it's all equipment they have already, so it's his team of people doing it, so it should go pretty quick. He thinks they could do it in about 5 days.
Okay.
So it'll be a nice looking new building at least. We're gonna get rid of the trailer in the back, and that's going inside, so we'll get some more space out of it too, with parking.
Oh, more spots.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? No? Okay, if nothing else. Don't forget there are meetings for the Master Plan Committee to just keep it in some kind of motion. And I'll ask for a meeting to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
On the right. 1, 2. And all in favor?
Aye.
Thank
So
you.
They came to the zoning board, right, for the other one that we were just talking about, they actually came to the zoning.
Am I closing? Pussy?
Yeah. Did they
Or-
come for the
The club?